What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. It's not a Dolphins show if we're not talking about injuries, so let's get into it. We had a number of people miss practice today. Benito Jones was out, Austin Jackson was out, Ethan Bonner was out, Storm Duck was out. I'm missing out. Ethan Bonner. I'm missing somebody. We have five people out of practice today. Oh, Jalen Wright also missed practice today. So those five completely missed practice. Ashton Davis and Jalen Waddle both were limited in practice. So you can basically say seven guys who we hope will contribute were not part of practice today. That's not great. Darren Waller also wasn't practicing, but we'll get into him later on. So a lot of guys. Now I saw a report today. I don't think it's been like super confirmed, and maybe it's not like set in stone yet. That Austin Jackson is unlikely to play on Sunday. We talked about it yesterday about his toe injury needing a second opinion. Obviously, it's giving him trouble. I don't know like the severity in terms of like surgery possibilities and that kind of thing, but toes are a lot about pain. So obviously after the game, I'm sure he's in a lot more pain than he was pregame. If he's out, that means Larry Borum is going to be filling in at right tackle, which that's why we got him to fill in for Austin Jackson. So that's good. He's not as good as Austin Jackson is, so we lose the quality of player, but Larry is at least healthy at the moment. So I'd rather, I guess, have a healthy Larry than an unhealthy Austin. It does. Those are like the two choices. But the injuries keep piling up, and I'm happy. I will say, silver lining in this is that Storm Duck is not on the IR. We immediately put James on the IR. Like, hey, your pec's hurt. Get out of here. You're out for 4 weeks. Storm is hurt, but they're like, all right, he'll probably come back before 4 weeks, which is encouraging because Storm had a really good camp. I mean, he was our starting DB1 before he got injured. So I like the fact that he's not like out. That the fact that he wasn't already declared out this week is like he could come back as early as this week. I think it's unlikely. I think they'll probably keep him out a week and then bring him back against Buffalo. Woof. But we got a lot of people banged up right now, and this is part of what the team is. We just it seems to be a fact of life that we're just not going to be healthy. And you get a lot of 1 year guys, you get a lot of depth, and you try to like piece it together. But we're very much piecing this team together right now. I mean, next man up is a good mentality. Sometimes next man up becomes great. Like when we first got Jalen Javon Holland, he wasn't supposed to be what he was. We already had a safety that we thought was pretty good, and Javon came in. And he was so good. We were like, "Oh, we can cut you." Like Javon is balling right now, like that. So sometimes being the backup, being the second string, third string is actually a good thing because you get time to shine. You may not be as good in practice. Maybe you're like a gamer. Just put me in a game, coach. I'll figure it out. Well, that may be the case. The other side of that is also true. You may get in a game and completely fail, and the moment gets too bright for you, and everybody laughs at you. Yes, that is also a possibility. I'm aware of it, but I think this is a good opportunity. And if we phrase it the way, because I work in corporate, right? So everything that is negative, they try to find it. We fire five people. Hey guys, what an opportunity you have to come around and build your business because we just let five people go, and that business is still out there. So if you want to go and get it, it's yours if you want it. That's how corporate spends stuff, right? Same thing on the team. Hey, I know our starting three offensive linemen are out, but guess what? You've been offensive lineman your whole life. And maybe you got injured in college or you didn't get drafted where you wanted to get drafted. But you know what? We picked you up. We saw something in you. And you know what? We need that something right now. Go all the way. And then hopefully you go out there and play well. That's I don't know, trying to find some kind of silver lining because the injuries aren't great. So we'll keep you posted if more people start missing practice or if people come back to practice like tomorrow because that would be great. That means that maybe they just need to sit a day or two out and then we'll get right back to that money. But we'll let you know. So Tua's had a interesting day or two. He's been going back and forth with reporters about his picks and bunches thing, and we're not going to get deeply into that today. Although I will say that's clearly a hot button issue for him because he gets really defensive every time it's brought up, and it is objectively more accurate than he's letting on. Like, what are you saying about the picks? Like, yeah, it's picks and fumbles. Like they happen in bunches. This is a thing, but having a chance to like piece it up and be like, hey, I was a little heated in the moment. He did not do so today. He kind of doubled down, which I said yesterday. I thought his response was a bad response. So I thought with the chance to like, hey, you know what, you caught me at a bad time. yeah, it was a tough game, but we tried. Like he just kind of was like, yeah, that was a dumb question. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna stay in this line of thinking? Don't love that. Again, it's touching a sore spot for him, obviously. So his emotions are overriding his sensibilities, I think. But that's not important. Something else that happens that we mentioned Xavier Howard talking about Tua being in panic mode once his first read goes away, and that's what their whole game plan was: crowd the line, get that first read out of here, and it was gonna like kind of implode. I guess Tua hadn't heard that comment until today. So once he did, he has something to say. He said, I think if you look at the games where I have performed and done well, it's when I'm also getting off my first read and progressing or going through the progressions. Kind of like what my feed is telling me. So playing in that sense. Hmm. This is weird. This is it's a weirdly critical thing to say. I don't think what he said responds to what they said. I feel like he answered a question that wasn't asked. He said, when I play well, I go through my progressions and I go through my reads. I take what the defense gives me. Yes. But when you play poorly, are you not doing that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like he did the PR thing. He did the political thing of, hey, like let me reshape it. Hey, you say I can't scramble, but I have 200 scramble yards. I'm like, over 5 years. Like he gave something that's subjectively true when he's really good. And honestly, I don't even know if it's objectively true. I watch all these games. I think Tua is at his best when he's going to his first read. I don't think of Tua as someone in the pocket going through progressions, holding the ball, letting routes develop and making. I don't think that's not what I think of. The Dolphins' whole team is 2.4 seconds or less, get the ball out, fast receivers. The offense isn't Tua holding the ball, waiting, making the throw. So I don't know. There's probably games where he did have to go through progressions, or maybe he's going through progressions really fast. So he's like 1, 2, 3, ball comes out. That can all happen inside of 2.5 seconds. So he may be saying like I went through my progressions in the sense that I looked at multiple receivers, but that means that somebody probably came open really quickly. Like two's open, throw. But the idea of him sitting in a pocket, patting the rock, rolling around, like buying time, that's not Tua's game. Like he doesn't have the mobility or the arm to really be that guy. He is a in the pocket, hitch 1, 2, ball coming out kind of guy. So I hear what he's saying. I guess it's probably not false that his best games he has gone through multiple progressions, but I think it's way more accurate to say that he's at his best when he does not have to. He's at his best when Coach McDaniel just sets things up beautifully, just puts it on a platter for him, and two is like, let me eat. Like that's when it's great. When it's like, yo, this play is so drawn up beautifully. All you gotta do is make it throw. And two is like, I got you, big dog. Watch the throw. That's when they're really cooking. The idea of, hey, I need you to create something. That's not Tua. I need you to get out of the pocket and throw. Unless it's rolling left, that's not him. Definitely not rolling right. So I don't know. Like he definitely kind of got in his feelings a little bit, but I understand it because he just had one of the worst games of his career. The team was terrible, so he's going to be probably on edge all week. Hopefully, after the Sunday's win, he will bring it down, and maybe he'll come out and be like, "Hey, sorry about that last week." If we lose, then expects more spicy Tua because he does tap into that from time to time. And I saw this today, and I couldn't believe the headline. I thought this was all clickbait, where it said, "Is it possible Darren Waller never plays for the Dolphins?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? We're a we're a game into the year. Of course he's going to play." Then they had this Coach McDaniel comment that I didn't love. He said, "I expect not I expect to not know what to expect until later on this week. We may get to a point where we realize the risk is too great for the rest of the season, and we'll have to do what's best for the team." What do you mean we're gonna get to the point where, oh yeah, it's just too much risk for who? For Darren? Is this hip that bad that we have to I don't like I'm at a loss for words because literally 2 weeks ago I was being told he's playing week one. Despite me telling all y'all he is not playing week one. I don't buy it. Now, this hip thing is so bad when he says we'll find out later this week what we need to know. I'm guessing there's some kind of imaging, some kind of like extended rehab thing they're doing. And if there's excessive damage inside that hip, he's not going to play. That's my guess because why else? What else are you waiting to find out? He didn't practice today, so you're not going to see him on the field to know can he play. And that like there's no he hasn't really practiced since he's been with the team, so there's nothing to see on the field. It has to be in the medicals, and I don't know. That's the idea that he may never play makes me sick to my stomach because then it makes the Smith situation even more ridiculous. John was getting paid less than 5 million a year, like 4.2. We gave Darren Waller up to 5, and then if he doesn't play, and then John goes to the Steelers, who we're gonna play later this year, but also probably a team that they compete with for a playoff spot, then it's just like the compounding of the mistake just feels devastating. We end up with no tight end, money spent. The tight end we had went to a team that we had to play against and may possibly beat us. And then we don't have a viable backup tight end to him. If Connor is our backup tight end and our solution going forward, we have a problem. That is a problem. That is not, there's a reason why he hasn't been playing most of his career with us. He was behind Gasecki, he was behind Jonnu. He's like blocking, come in here and there. He hasn't got significant playing time because we determined as a team he's not that dude. We got Darren Waller because we didn't believe in him. And we got Farrell Brown, who ended up not playing. So where are we in this? I'm hoping whatever comes back, the imaging, the doctor reports, whatever, they say, okay, he may need to go into IR. I'm betting good money he's gonna be on the IR. Okay. But then when he gets off the IR, he should be good to play. That's what I'm hoping the report is. If it's the generation in that hip, I don't know, man. Could be some kind of like, inflammation. If I start hearing too many medical words for that hip, then I don't think he's going to play because why put your body through that? And hips are a tough injury because you can't like walk, you can't run, you can't lift. Like hips are just devastating injuries. So if it is something that serious, then I understand him not playing. How could you? How could he? But the promise of if he can live up to that talent, we get like, maybe a more athletic version of John New with a bigger catch radius, and we started getting excited about what the possibilities are, and now it's a real possibility that we just never ever see that. That's I don't know, that's kind of depressing. Finally, we're gonna finish with a Tyreek Hill story. Y'all know I have been very critical of Tyreek for most of the offseason because Tyreek lives a wild life. And I always allude to Tyreek being a wild boy. He's got a lot of the field stuff. And I always say it like with distancing language because I don't want to like really like populate this with all that stuff. But this is a serious situation, so I feel like we have to talk about it. So Tyreek and his wife are getting a divorce. And during her deposition, she alleged that there was some domestic violence, right? And the league is having to investigate because there's a claim. And she said it happened multiple times. And so we've already had a situation on this team this year with Coach Crow. That's, currently he's out indefinitely with the team. And I think going to get fired or they're trying to like wait for the media firestorm to die off. Who knows? But in a Tyreek situation, the league is investigating. And if they find that it's credible, then I think a suspension is almost certainly coming. Tyreek is the very definition of a habitual line stepper. No matter what line you put on Tyreek, he's gonna step over. He's done it a bunch of different times. He's just simply been a reckless person. Also, the league has been taking an increased stance on this kind of stuff. We're trying to pull in more women to the fan base. Totally understand it. Also, this is warranted. Like, this is not the first, second, third, fourth smoking gun around Tyreek that we've seen in the league is either like kind of skimmed over or the team has done their own internal punishments. He's done a lot of stuff, which is why I said I need Tyreek to clear that part of his life up because I don't believe in today's society. I know Michael Irvin just did an interview with Club Shay Shay talking about, how he was living his life and playing on the field. I could do both. We didn't have social media back then. We didn't have people just filming your life at all times. We didn't have like a document. Like we didn't know all the stuff they were doing back then. That stuff comes out in a documentary later where it's like, I got high before every game. I'm like, what? Yeah, man, I never wasn't smoking. Or I hit myself with a needle 2 times. Like you find it out later. In a moment, you just think, oh, these guys are tough. They get resilient. You find out later, I was on drugs, or I lied about that, or I embellished, and like you start finding out more things. Nowadays, everybody knows everything. People post, people are there, people speculate, stories get circulated, a lot of stuff happens. I think the league is like saying they're doing their due diligence. So they haven't said there's any impending suspension. Um, Not even really suspicion to a degree that we need to like do anything crazy. But they're going to do an investigation. I think they will probably find some kind of a smoking gun. I don't believe that Tyreek has just been living a blameless life. I think there is some either some doctor records or what have you, and it's going to come down on Tyreek. And I think it's likely he'll get some level of a suspension this year. Uh, I don't believe there's any tapes, which helps in terms of how long the suspicion is going to be. But don't be shocked if at some point you see a 3 to 4 game, or maybe a 3 to 5 game, and they like lower it down to 4 games or 3 games, because you can't have someone constantly living on the edge, and you see them about to fall off the edge, and you don't pull them back. I think we saw that with Antonio Brown, where listen, he was being Antonio Brown for a long time, and he was so good on the field, so good that we just let it rock, and then eventually it led to him taking his pads off on the field, jumping, jacking, and running off the field. We never saw him again. But there's a lot of things that happened before that moment. A lot of stuff he was up to was like, hey, I don't know, AB kind of, I don't know, getting a little wild. Hey, you good, bro? And he's like, yeah, I'm still good because he still was performing. As long as you're performing, then there's somebody willing to tolerate it. But there is a there's a line where if you cross the line, then at some point you gotta pay the fine, and the fine is suspensions and actual money. So we will see what's going on with this. I mean, it may take them weeks to months to do this investigation. We don't. The league works at their own pace. If if and when they find something, then I do expect some kind of disciplinary action to come down. Hopefully, you know, this is Tyreek's team said this is a money grab. I don't believe that. I think she has multiple of his kids. She's going to get money regardless. So I don't know. I don't believe that part of Tyreek's story, but I do believe that they're going to find something at some point. Maybe the offseason, maybe during the year. And when they do, I expect it to be not great, and it might even diminish his trade value if that's something we were trying to do at that time. There's a lot of elements to this story, but I didn't feel it was responsible to like not talk about it and not engage with it, especially because we've just been alluding to all this stuff for all this time. Then they just got put in our face. It's like, okay, cool. You have to talk about it. We can't avoid it forever. I know some of y'all were thinking about it, like, hey, is he going to be eligible to play? As of now, yes. We don't know how that's going to fall out down the line, but I do expect some information to drop at some point. But as always, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in today for Dolphins Daily. To Dolphins Daily. To Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and the subscribes. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.